Hello and welcome to this tutorial. If you are watching this, I'm guessing that you are pretty brand new to digital scrapbooking, or particularly to digital scrapbooking with Photoshop Elements. And so the goal behind this video is to just walk you through some of the basics of the menu tools and options that are available in Photoshop Elements. And then as you watch, and so this is a great one to watch at the very beginning of getting started, because as we go throughout the different tutorials that I'll be teaching, they'll reference a lot of these things, and this will kind of give you an overview of all the different tools available. So let's just jump in. Real quick before we do though, let me also say that you can click on the PDF that is attached with this video and watch, and from that PDF it kind of walks through all of these that I'm going to explain here, so that and gives you also like the shortcuts with it. So that's a great way, after you watch this video, you can click on the PDF and save it to your laptop, or you can print it, and it will give you even more of the information and be a good resource for you. So we're going to start on this left-hand side here. And I've opened a paper and this little bow here just so that I can use it to kind of explain. So this first thing is a magnifying glass, and it's simply to zoom in. So you can do a couple of things. You can draw an item, you draw this around it, and it will make it closer. Or you can also hit the minus key, or command or control minus. No, that isn't it either. Oh, so yes, you can draw it around if you want to get in somewhere really particular and close. I love that. As you can see down here in the zoom, it says 761%. So most of the time you won't need to get that up close, but you can. And then this just scales it back so to different areas. So that is how, once you've clicked this, you can use down here. Now, let's say that you pull it in close and then you click Fit to Screen. You can fill screen, or you can show it at print size. So these are just kind of the different options that you have with the zoom. Okay. Oh, and this is plus. If you want to go out more, you just click the little minus one, and then you can go out. Okay. Now the hand tool, I don't use a whole lot, but it just helps you to move things. So let me make sure. Okay, so we're going to first bring this up. And then use the hand tool to move it over. There we go. Sorry, when it's already fit to screen, it doesn't move anything. And it's not actually moving your items, it's just moving the screen for you to get a better look at it. So that's all that means. So especially if you are doing any close-up editing and you want to move over to this next section, by having the hand tool, you can do that. You can also click the space bar, and it automatically turns to the hand bar, and that's to the little hand. And that's usually how I use it, so that I don't have to go up and click it. I just can have it on, if I'm drawing or erasing or whatever it is that I'm doing, I just hit the space bar, and it turns to the hand so that I can move my screen over. So that's how the hand is. And also you can, do the fit to screen, fill screen. Okay, the next one is this little compass, and this is the move tool. And this actually lets you move an item on top of your thing. So we're going to scroll out here, and this is one you'll use a ton in scrapbooking, because this is how you move your elements around the page, or whatever it is that you're moving. So that's the move key. This is the Marquee, and it has a little arrow on it, which means that it has multiple. So down here you can see, you know, you can make it square or circular, and these different things. We'll talk about more of those in depth. But this is just to draw a shape, or if it's draw a circle. Again, we'll talk more in different tutorials of when you would use this, but this is the shape marquee, elliptical marquee, to draw a shape around, a shape around something. And if you hold the shift, it will make it a true circle. So the next one is the lasso tool. And also down here you've got 3 different lassos. This lasso, you draw whatever it is, super easy. Okay, then you have the magnetic lasso, where it kind of sticks much closer to something. It's not perfect, but it does a pretty good job. So especially if you're going to extract something, and that's what the lasso is, the magnetic lasso. And then the last one is the polygonal, and it just allows you to do like straight lines. So when it comes to times when I'll say, you know, okay, we're going to go over and get our lasso tool, this is what it's talking about. And there are 3 different types of lassos that you can get. The next is the magic wand, and also quick selection and selection brush. And these are about, again, all 4 of these are all about selecting something. So you might be, if you're on the back, this, and you want to select the background, you'll use the selection, the magic wand in particular, a lot in photo editing, because maybe you're wanting to select all of the green in the photo so that you can make some changes, or if you're wanting to, there are lots of different things, but this is all about selection in the different shapes based on what something looks like, and we'll get more into those in the specific tutorials. Next is the enhance one. So we have the red eye removal tool, which is super easy to use. If you've got a photo, you just click on it with this and it removes red eye. You've got the spot healing brush, the smart brush, clone stamp, blur, and sponge brush. So these items we'll use a lot in photo editing in particular. So just know that these different brushes all have to do with enhancing your photos, from blurring things to fixing things, all of that. The next section is draw. So this paintbrush is just like it says, it's a paintbrush, and you can have different brushes that you can choose. For example, if we just have this normal one, and I'm going to make an extra layer here, and you can draw. And, you know, there will be times when, for example, you can install a brush and you click on it and it will put it on there, which is what I have done that there. So I'm just going to delete that layer. Okay. And then you have the eraser tool. So here I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the brush, and then the eraser tool will just erase it. Now you can see it's not erasing all of it, and it's because the opacity is at 70%. So change that to 100 and it will take everything off. And there are different times when you'll want to use one or the other. Okay, next we have the paint bucket, which just adds paint to the whole layer. So there you go. I obviously didn't get everything taken off there, so it didn't fully fill it in, but there we go. This one is your gradient, and that will give you the different colors. That's the gradient there. The next one is the color picker tool. So if you want to pick a color, like this, it changes your, so from a photo or something you're wanting to match, that changes your bucket color now. Oops, wrong one. To the blue. And then this next one is the shape or rectangle that you'll draw. So right now you can see at the bottom it's set to rectangle. You can draw a rectangle or you can draw a circle. And these are all different layers and different shapes that are on here. Okay. And then text, the T is for text, and that's where we'll add like our journaling, our titles, things like that. And the next is a pencil. And when you click on each one, it gives you a thing down here, and we'll talk about this a little more later. But here we have modify. So you've got the crop tool. If we were wanting to crop and make it a certain size, you can say, you know, I want it 3 by 5. And then you can move it around and crop it. Again, great for photos. And different options there that we'll get more into. Whoops, don't crop. Okay, this next one, the Recomposed Tool, I've not used a whole lot, and it's not one I mean, maybe when we get into down the road, but it will have to do with modifying things. The next is Cookie Cutter. So for example, a heart, and then you can rotate like this. And then as you can see over here, it's given you like a path that it's drawn. And so again, we'll get into the different things that we can do with that. And the straighten tool, and that also deals with photographs, making things more straight. So as we get into some of the photo editing tutorials, we may get into those. So that's a quick description of what is in this side panel here. Now down here at the bottom, we have a photo bin, and here you can open up all of your whatever elements, photos you want to work with. Be careful not to get it too full, because that can slow down your program a lot and then sometimes cause it to shut down. But once something's in your photo bin and you're working on your main item, you can slide something on and it automatically comes onto the page. So that's really nice, and that's the photo bin. And each of these items can be found up top here, like the beads that I just slid on. But when you're on this one, or you can also double click and it will take you when you're down here. But if you double click on the one that we're working with as our layout, and then you can slide things on from there and move them around. Okay, the next thing down here is tool options. Now this corresponds with whatever you click here. It changes based on what tool you choose from the left. These give you the options that each tool has. So that's really nice. Undo, very simple, it just undoes your last action. Redo it. Rotate, that will rotate your page. And you can click on that. Yeah, that's pretty much what that does. Layout, there's the default column and rows. This just lets you see what other things from up here that are open. Then you can slide, oops, have the right one selected. Slide things over this way too, but you can go back to just the default where it shows one main screen. And then organizer, which we're not going to get into today, that opens up a whole different workspace to organize your items in. So that's where all of those are found. Now we're going to jump over here and we're going to talk about the options here. So layers, this is what you're seeing right here. This shows every layer of things that we've added. We have that extra one that we added. We have the beads, the ampersand, the button, another extra one that we added, the bow. Each of the layers are here. And when this is open, and it's going to be slow because I accidentally clicked the organizer and it's trying to open it. But you can just click on a layer and move it like that. So if I wanted the beads on top of my bow, I do that. If I want them under the bow, I just move it down. Super easy. Now, under layers, there's the effects menu. And this gives you different filters, styles, and effects. And again, we'll get into those. On styles here, I have drop shadows. And that's what these are. It gives a little bit of a drop shadow. This is my own set of styles that's available for free on my blog that I've uploaded. But I'm also going to teach you more. We'll get more into how to create your own and how to save them and load them, things like that as we go along. So that's what those styles are. The other things aren't things that will, well, graphics, let's just click on it. So it just gives you a lot of different assets and things. These aren't something that I've really used a lot in scrapbooking, but you could. A lot of times you're going to already have your own, like from the kit that you're working with, and these are just kind of default ones that come with it. So if there is something on here that you want to use, that's where you would find it under graphics. And favorites, so you can have your different favorite things here, and more things such as history, color, a bunch of different things that we'll get into. That would be where we would find those. So now I'm going to click back to layer, and you'll see that those items we added have added it to the background. And we go back to our photo bin. Yeah, so we'd want to do a couple of undos to get back to our original background. Okay, so that completes our bottom right-hand corner. Then our last menu we're going to look at is right up here. This adds a layer. When you click on it, it adds a new layer. This one, it creates a new fill or adjustment layer. So you can click on it and choose, do you want a solid color? In which case it would create a new layer, let you choose which color you wanted. Click OK. And there you have your color. And you can double click and change that at any point. So that's kind of cool. Lock, it just would lock the layer. So right now it's locked, or unlock it. And this locks the transparent pixels. So for example, here you've got the button. You're locking the pixels around it. And I'm not really sure what purpose that would be for. I'll be honest, it's not one that I've used. So if it comes up, we'll kind of, that's where you're going to look for it at. But the main ones I use here are the new layer, add a colored layer, or it can be a gradient or a pattern, anything like that. And the layer mask, which I didn't talk about, but we will deal with that. And sometimes the lock layer, just so that things don't get moved around. The next thing is the garbage can. So for example, this color that I added, I can click there, delete it. Oh, I guess it deleted the mask part of it. And it deleted it. So I can do the same with the button. And it takes it off. Our button's still down here, so we can move it on again, but it takes it off of the screen that we're working on. And then this here is just a little menu for things, new layer, duplicate layer, delete layer, rename layer, merge down, merge visible, and we'll get more into those as we go. Panel options, things like that. So that in a nutshell are the basic tools and options that you have available in Photoshop Elements. I hope that you found this helpful and will be able to use it often as you move through the other tutorials. Thank you for joining me.